This is part 2 of Breastfeeding Friends presentation, Closing the Gap, What Can We Do? For the World Breastfeeding Week 2024. In part 1, we mainly focused on WABA initiatives. Now for the World Breastfeeding Week 2024, WHO is also participating, and these are the key messages. What is needed to support moms? Support for women to breastfeed anytime, anywhere, so that it is normalized and not censored in public life. Effective maternity entitlements, so maternity leave, that do not force women to choose between their families and their work. Trained health professionals who can provide helpful, respectful breastfeeding support. An end to exploitative baby milk promotions in all contexts. And this is their poster that we will look bit by bit. The title, which we already saw in part 1, many women do not breastfeed for as long as they would like. To make breastfeeding work, we need trained health workers providing breastfeeding counseling during pregnancy, at birth, and for the next 2 years. Again, it's very important to have the continuum, the warm chain. Then adequate paid parental leave, maternal leave, after the birth of a baby. 18 doesn't mean 18 days, but 18 weeks. I wish it would be 18 months, like in some Scandinavian countries. This is 18 weeks. This would be a minimum worldwide. Women everywhere need paid maternity leave. All women should have at least 18 weeks, preferably 6 months, paid maternity leave. And paid time off for breastfeeding or expressing milk upon returning work. And World Health Organization emphasizes that maternity protection improves women and children's health and well-being after birth and are critical for breastfeeding. Other posters from WHO and UNICEF that can be used for advocacy in this field. Paid maternity leave is important for mothers. It supports mothers' choice to breastfeed. Breastfeeding reduces risk of breast and ovarian cancer and improves health recovery and mental well-being of mothers. This is the benefit for mothers. Now, the benefits for children, it makes children healthier, or we can also say that non-breastfeeding makes children less healthy. Paid maternity leave helps to establish and maintain exclusive breastfeeding. It lets parents nurture and provide quality care to children, and it supports the baby's early development. Now, the benefits are also for the employers, because when they provide paid maternity leave, we know it has been studied that breastfeeding reduces worker absenteeism. Baby is less sick, so the mother will take less leave. It increases participation of women in the workforce, and it motivates staff and increases productivity. Mothers are grateful that they are allowed to continue to breastfeed, and they will do their best for their employer. And this is about the paid time off, like the breastfeeding hours. To improve breastfeeding, to close the gaps, we need some investment, financial investment in the breastfeeding support programs. And this is a visual from the World Breastfeeding Week. Investment in breastfeeding to address these inequalities is vital and can help alleviate the social inequalities. This other part of the puzzle, which is so important, is the support of the husband and the families to the breastfeeding mother. And this support and encouragement should be practical, like taking care of the elder children or the house chores, to let the mother rest and take care of herself and her baby. And again, this last but not least piece of the puzzle, protection from formula marketing that undermines confidence in breastfeeding. it's also so important in time of crisis to not send like unregulated donation of breast milk substitutes, like sending boxes and boxes of formula, because combined with a lack of access to clean and safe water, like in refugee camps or during floods or during emergencies, place infants and young children at higher risk of malnutrition and mortality. So it should be a comprehensive program prioritizing breastfeeding, relactation, and using breast milk substitutes in a wise way and not catastrophic way. Finally, this poster from WHO is really summing up. Breastfeeding is easier when everyone steps up to support mothers. We explained that the first week of August is the International Breastfeeding Week. Then every country can choose also to modify it, to celebrate it in another more appropriate period for them. So in the USA, the US Breastfeeding Committee has chosen not to have only a breastfeeding week, but a breastfeeding month. So it's still August, but a whole month. And the month 2024 August, the slogan is Nourish, Sustain, and Thrive. In the UAE, the World Breastfeeding Week is still celebrated in August, but because many people are outside the country and it's very hot, and so the National Breastfeeding Week celebrations every year in November. So this is the circular from the Ministry of Health indicating every year to all the stakeholders when it will be. So you see here the National Breastfeeding Week this year is during the first week of November. Breastfeeding France has celebrated the Breastfeeding Week each year since 2000. You can see here for the World celebration, we just finished. It has been reported in the media, and Breastfeeding France Society is a subsidiary of the Health Promotion Department at the Supreme Council for Family Affairs in Sharjah. And this is a word of Engineer Khawla Noman, who is the head of the Breastfeeding France Society. We are keen to participate every year in the celebration of the World Breastfeeding Week to raise awareness about the benefits of breastfeeding. Our participation aligns with the directions of Her Highness Sheikha Jawahar bint Mohammed Al Qasimi, Chairperson of the Supreme Council for Family Affairs, to promote sustainable physical and emotional health for mothers and children through community awareness about the importance of breastfeeding in cultivating an environment that values the health and happiness of both mothers and children and protects them against illnesses, therefore building a society that ensures the mental health of families. And every year, Sheikh Aboudour, who is the patron of Breastfeeding France, is also participating by sharing vital messages. This was in 2021. She reiterated the importance of mother's milk, and we'll see in the next slide a vital message. If you are a woman who has breastfed your baby, you will know that nothing beats the experience of meeting your baby's gaze during this particular time. The bond created is unique, a special, divine language between mother and infant without the need for words. You are communicating physically, mentally, and spiritually with your baby. So Sheikh Aboudour, the honorary president of Breastfeeding France Society, further added that as your baby's tiny hands rest on your body during breastfeeding, their sense of security increases and an everlasting bond is formed. This divine bond is the foundation for a solid and happy family. Strong and happy families are the heart of secure, well-functioning society. Because many women do not breastfeed for as long as they would like, we want to do something. To make breastfeeding work, we need to participate or to implement some of the suggestions, the solutions provided by the World Breastfeeding Week theme and the action folder of this year, Closing the Gap, Breastfeeding Support for All. And one very useful tool could be the warm chain of support for breastfeeding. I like this poster, I put it again. Breastfeeding is easier when everyone steps up to support mothers. We should stop to blame mothers, and so many actors have to shoulder the responsibility of supporting mothers. Remember, we explained about the golden bow and the importance of the knot, which is the support. We can all do something to better support mothers. And you can participate to the Breastfeeding Week activities, which will be held, I hope it's clear, in the first week of coming November 2024. So at Breastfeeding Friends, we're in the phase of preparing the activities. You can just call the office and they will take your name and see what you can do, how you can participate. You can become a member, you can become also a trainee for the upcoming breastfeeding counselor training course, which is usually in March or April next year, inshallah. So this is the end of part 2 and the end of the session. I hope it was informative and enjoyable, and that you're motivated to participate with us to support mothers and babies. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.